is what's going to be needed for this project. Pretty straightforward. You're going to need a drill. I use Makita because the best. You're going to need a fairly decent size drill bit. This is the biggest one I have, but essentially you're really going to want like 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, because you got to fit these bad boys through it. And there are these plugs, and the plugs are essential because you're going to want to plug up the back so that you can keep this thing from getting any moisture or anything in it. That's going to be our biggest obstacle. We do not want that. As you can see, this is our headlight here. We are in desperate need. We got rocks in here, and it's delaminating the UV protectant film, and it has these little fine micro cracks. That's just poor lens, but we'll deal with that. The RGB halos that I've chosen is Profile Performance. Honestly, in my opinion, the best way to go. They're extremely high quality. They're plug and play, very easy to use. I have the same Profile Performance Prism series for our RGB Demonize. This right here is going to go behind your projector lens, and it is essentially going to change color to your preference on your projector lens. And seeing as how we're going to be etching the lens on the projector lens, we want something to stand out, make it unique. That's for that. We have the XBT RGB controller right here. Awesome. It comes with an app that's super easy. It gives you 3 channels that you can adjust everything. That's what we have here. Is we have these 2, and then we're going to have the other 2 on the other side, and that leaves still 1 more channel available for future LEDs that I want to install. XBT color controller, it's RGB controller. We got a pry tool here because we're not going to be sticking this bad boy in the oven. We're going to be using a heat gun, and I'm going to be trying to separate this with the heat gun. I feel it's a little bit safer. I've tried both ways. I've done the oven, I've done the heat gun. Unless you have like a specific oven that's really good at temperature monitoring, just use a heat gun. Takes a little bit longer, safer bet. Dremel. I have a grinding bit on here so that I can go ahead and get in there and make some adjustments to everything, but I also have a cutting wheel that I'm going to attach to this because we are going to have to cut some metal here to make sure that this fitment is perfect. These kits come with some assembly hardware, but that's not one size fits all, so you will still need to use your own brain. I know it sucks, but it will be inevitable. You're gonna have to do some custom modification while you're custom modifying your headlights. Now I have a battery here, but really you just need a 12-volt battery source, and I have some tape that'll all come into play later, and computer. This is the part that we need for our etched lenses. That sounds confusing, but you're going to see what I mean in the video. So what we're going to go through here is step by step exactly what needs to be done. It's going to be obviously a longer video because of that, but I do want to make sure you guys get the best possible chance of doing this yourself. Is it going to be difficult? It's not easy, obviously, or everybody would have these, but it is doable. And if you just go through the steps that I show you here, your headlight is going to be different than mine, but in general, these are the steps you're going to need to take to make this happen. And then at the end, I'm going to go ahead and show you the finished product, and trust me, you're going to want to do this yourself. So let's get into it. There she is. I am really proud of this. This is something that I came up with when I was trying to experiment with etching lenses. Now, there are a couple ways to do this right now. The most cost-effective being etching paste. So I made a YouTube video about how to etch lenses with etching paste, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that want to do this but also don't have the luxury of leaving their headlights out of their vehicle for a week or two until they get etched and sent back. So a lot of people end up going out buying other lenses, getting them etched, getting them shipped back, and then taking apart their headlights, swapping in the new lenses, and so on and so forth. But there's even complications with that if you don't get the exact right one. Well, I didn't like that idea, so I went ahead and I got my vinyl cutting machine. I printed out designs, I put it on the back of lenses, and then I would sandblast them to etch them. There was some trial and error with that. For the media, you got to use a certain type of media so it's not too aggressive, and then you don't want it to mess up the light projection. There's just a lot of things that go into it, so that was a fine art. Eventually got that down, and it was sticking in the back of my head, there has to be an easier way. So, industrial wise, there's this film that is like a high temp etched glass film. And what they use it for is like glass windows for like restaurants and commercial buildings where it has the etching in the glass. It has designs. Sometimes it has their like office name, their name of their office on the window right before you walk in the door, cabinets, a lot of specialty stuff. Now, this has to be heat resistant because that's facing outside towards the sun all day. And I thought to myself, well, that might be an interesting concept. Take some of that, create a product with it where somebody can buy it for 35 bucks, gets it shipped to their house, take apart the lens, the housing, all that, get it all torn down, just pull this out, take this out, apply this to the back, and I'll show you how to do it. Trim it up, set it, it's done. Just like that. That easy. And the possibilities are pretty much endless as far as like, you need like a silhouette design. You can't have anything too complicated because you got the little small, tiny little edges and stuff. You can't have something too complicated, and also it's not gonna be easy to lay down. But when you have that kind of flexibility, the options for this are pretty endless, and the time it takes to do it is next to none. Now, does it withstand the heat of like a HID or an LED? Well, I had it in my RX-8. I tested it out before I got to this stage because I wanted to make sure that I'm not putting something out there that's not going to work. And it does. It holds up great. No issues. And when you're done, you can go in with a blade, 45-degree angle, maybe an 80-degree angle, and then just peel it right off. Clean the lens with alcohol wipe it down dry, and put on a new design. You can change it. There's flexibility. It's like wrapping your car. You're not committed to it. You don't have to buy a whole new lens, you know? If you want to change the theme of your car, if you just maybe put something on there that in a couple years you're not a fan of anymore, just pull this bad boy apart, take it all apart, pull this lens, beep, beep, strip it, put a new one on. It's that versatile. And in the link below, I'm going to have a listing to my eBay account where I have these listed. And there's going to be two different kinds. There's going to be a kind that for a little bit more, I'll make a custom one to exactly what you would like. And then I'm going to have a whole bunch of universal ones that you could just buy and have it shipped out. But essentially, this takes a lot of the time out of doing this. And it works, and it's easy. I'm going to show you just how easy in this video. So without further ado, let's get down to it, and I'm going to show you the process on how to do this. Here's what you want to do. You want to start with gloves. You're going to need gloves for this so you don't put any oils on the surface of this lens. You're going to take the bubble side of the lens, put it down on a soft surface. You're going to start at the top edge of your vinyl, and all you're going to do is you're just going to peel it back. One of these bad boys doesn't want to come up. There we go. There it is. So now you have your design. Now it is mirrored because it's going to be projecting onto the other side, the opposite direction. Okay, so get it to where it's centered on your lens, then slowly bring it down and gently lay it on there. After we've got it set into place gently, now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here with a hard card, something that you can come and just from the inside push out, just like so. The goal here is you want to get rid of all the bubbles and anything that could show through. Take your time now because this is going to affect the end result. If you do this right, it will last and it's going to look great. I mean, this is easy here. I'm not talking rocket science, okay? Come through, just apply some pressure just to get it to lay down, all right? There we go. After you're done, it should be similar to this where you have it all laid out. Now, we're going to take a razor blade of sorts. You're going to come through and at a 45-degree angle, you're going to work it all the way around the lens. Okay? This is real easy here. Make sure you got a sharp blade for this. It doesn't need to be perfect on this part because essentially when you put this thing back in the housing, it's going to lay down pretty good. There's a lip around the edge that is not exposed because it needs a lip to hold it into the housing. So really all the way up to the edge is not that critical. Now we have our design there, okay? We're gonna go ahead and peel at the top here, or at the side or the bottom. Sometimes you're gonna take your blade, catch that edge, peel it up, take it, flatten it out, and then just drag it down flat, pulling it, and just like that, guys. I don't know if you're timing this, but that's about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, I don't know, maximum 5 minutes. We now have our etched lens here that is perfection. You got a design that you like that is individualized to your vehicle. It has a statement to it. It's beautiful. And when you put that RGB, we have that RGB prism light that we're going to stick behind this. It just accentuates the design and it just looks amazing. It looks amazing. Now bear in mind, because this is a dome, it will blow out the edges. So whatever you have in the middle, your small design in the middle will show up really well. but the edges, as you can see right here, they're blown out. Where if you finish it over here, you can see that this is all straight edge. There's no angle, no bulge to it, but when you flip it over, it gives you that illusion that it's almost 3D. So, I mean, with that being said, bear in mind if you are going to go with the custom design, you need to keep in mind that there is that kind of illusion when you flip it over. But with that being said, guys, the link for this product, I put a lot of work into it. It's down in the description below. Feel free, hit me up, message me if you have any questions. I'll answer them. But as you can see, that's quite literally how easy this is to install. We've been doing it all wrong all this time. I'm going to say it right now. This is the best way of doing this. It is. It's tested. It's proven. It works. It's easy. So I want you guys to enjoy the rest of the video. I'm going to put this all back together and I'm going to give you a little B-roll of how awesome this thing looks when it's all done. Let's get to it.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.